welcome to another Saddle Up with Sienna, and today is going to be my second GHPA show vlog. Unfortunately, my last with Magoo, but that is a whole nother topic for a whole nother video. There are so many details which I will cover in a future video that I've been planning for quite a while, and there have been quite a few changes, but he was such a good boy, and this video's been sitting since the beginning of June, so I'm finally getting it out and working on it. As you can see, he's a little bit spooky about that gate, but I've just been so busy, I just haven't gotten to this footage yet, so we're gonna get to it today, and I'm gonna have to split it into two separate videos because the English itself is 18 minutes, and then the Western is even longer, so I'm gonna have to figure out how to trim it down a little bit. So we'll have a Western part and an English part, and we'll start with the English part. This is Magoo's and I's first time doing English at a GHPA show, and he knocked it out of the park. He did great. Like, he was absolutely amazing. Of course, he's not really an English horse by training, and as you can see, his headset. Yeah, no, we don't have a headset. I'm used to having a stronger bit. As you can see, he's quite lazy that day. So, needed to get more impulsion. Now I'm having to kick him even more, and he's pretty comfortable to sit on, and so that's really nice. And I'm just warming up in the arena right now, like this is not part of the competition. And again, the spooky door. It's just like, nope. Good thing is his spooks are never that bad. Like, he might do a couple crow hops, but as you see there, that's usually the extent of it. He's pretty good. He's a good boy. So we're just going to circle back around and go straight back to trot and act like it never happened. Now we have picked up the correct lead, but that door, I don't know. When we were actually competing, it didn't bother him at all. And then, yeah. As you can see, he was just really lazy this day, and he just wasn't feeling his best, as I'll cover in the future video. But here is our first class, our equitation class, and let me tell you, equitation is probably the class I struggle with the most. And this pattern was so tight. It was like, it seemed impossible. In fact, there were only 2 girls that completed it flawlessly, so obviously they placed, which rightfully so. I mean, they got through it. But they were also on ponies. I'm a 16-2 quarter horse. With the next collection, though, height shouldn't matter. Of course, he does tend to have a bigger stride. Beautiful transition to that cone. And then we're going to stop. Very square halt. Looking good so far. Really great pattern. And then our little turn on the hind. Beautiful. So good. One of the best ones I've done. Back to trot. Looking at my diagonal. Putting all that weight on the shoulder. Poor boy. And here's where it pretty much starts to fall apart. So, turn on the forehand. And he's like, nope. Backing up. So, yeah. I was just kind of freaking out. The judges are probably forgetting that I think that I forgot my pattern, but I haven't. So I get the turn on the forehand, not a very pretty one, and then the canter. The canter, oh boy. Yep, never really picked it up. The cone was literally right there. See, I had no time to pick it up. 2 strides away, so kind of a bummer about that class, but that's all right. So here's the real portion of the equitation class. I'm kicking him quite a lot, but as you can see, he's kind of relaxed down to that beautiful headset, and I just need to relax. I mean, at GHPA shows, I don't really get too hectic, but it's just, I'm not used to riding lazy horses. I'm used to riding mostly show jumpers, so I'm trying to get him to canter. We have a decent transition, and I was really happy with that, and then he starts coughing. And he starts coughing. Really? Right in the middle of my class. So yeah, pretty much sealed our fate in that class. And so trying to get his head back down. Picks up the canter again. Considering that we were struggling with our leads, this is great. So I kept him going. As you can see, I keep on looking and checking, and I'm just like, oh my goodness. My position's terrible. As you can tell, I'm one of the least experienced riders probably in that ring. Most of those girls know what they're doing. Me and Magoo didn't really, so yeah. Here are some clips from my 100 under saddle, and we actually did pretty well in this class. They love that low headset that Magoo can have because his Western, and so he did really well in this class. I was super proud of him. Like, I was literally glowing after this class. I'm looking at my diagonal, like, I don't know. I feel so sure about my diagonal, and then I look down, oh, a little trip. Oh boy. And I just continue to look at that diagonal. Luckily, Hunter Saddle's about the horse, not the rider. But as you can see, beautiful. He's doing so good. Literally amazing. Look at that trot. Perfect. I mean, so it could use a bit more impulsion, but right there, that headset, and then he popped up. But he was doing amazing up until that point. And as you can see, there are a lot of other nice horses in the arena too. It was actually a decent sized class. I think there's like 12 riders in it. Yeah. So it was pretty good sized. Still staring at my diagonal. When will I ever figure it out, man? Been riding for almost 3 years. Look at that transition though. Perfect lead. He really did amazing on this class. I was really proud of him. Looking out on the corner of his eyes and a little bit counter bent right there. Really pumping with my hips right there. My leg isn't swinging as bad as it usually does. Okay, kicking to keep him going. Luckily, the judge didn't see that. I hope so. So that was good. He gets a little looky in this corner every time, but judges again aren't looking. So, you know, I can fix that real quick. Every once in a while, I'll glance at the judges and just see if I can maybe give him a little bit more leg, if they won't notice. But as you can see, we got a bit too close, and Magoo didn't like that, so he pinned his little ears. That horse is actually from our barn, so I was kind of surprised that he gave him that kind of expression. So more cantering. He's looking pretty nice. Right here, I felt he had a nice canter, but his headset needed work. And right here, he's tossing his head, but then he picks it up, and nope. Throws his head in the air. Have to discipline him. Send him back to canter. And he, like, has a really nice canter right here. And the Hunter Saddle people looked over at me and luckily didn't see that stop. I noticed that they were looking at me a lot. Like, I'd look over and I'd see them. I'd be like, oh no, they are looking at me and they're going to notice. But then it seemed like whenever I did something wrong, they weren't looking. So that really helped. And as you can tell, there are some horses that are much faster than Magoo. Me and Magoo are going quite slow. I'm used to riding little show jumpers, so he's a lot different. I know that's how Western pleasure horses are supposed to be. But when you ride at a show jumping barn, most of them are a bit quicker. So he was just a little different. But he was really the first perfect lease horse ever. Look at that headset. Look at that trot. I think this is what pretty much secured my class for me. He was absolutely phenomenal. So good. As you see, there's some other...
For Class 19, Novice Hunter Under Saddle. 6th place goes to 621, Sienna McCormick, True Deadly Obsession. Good job, Sienna. 5th place goes to 1.
So yeah, very, very happy with those placings. I was actually surprised we did so well. Now, this is Hunter Saddle Jackpot. I was feeling so good, I was like, why not enter in the jackpot? 6th place? I mean, we could take 1st. Yeah, no. Not a good idea. We held our own, though. Like, we didn't do too terribly. I didn't fall off, and that's all that matters, right? So, there were only actually 6 people in this class. But because the jackpot is money, you don't get ribbons. So that's sad. I could have come home with 2 ribbons, but instead I came home with 1. Well, that's too bad. Well, it was still a fun class, and honestly, I just want to fill out my days with classes, because if I didn't do this one, I'd only have 2 English classes, which really wouldn't even be worth it, you know, to make a video out of. So I just want to fill my day with a bunch of fun classes, so we did this fun Hunter Under Saddle. They actually had us do a lot of fun things, and he was really good. Not win-worthy, though, because, I mean, I was competing against 18-year-olds. I've been doing this since they were 7. So, you know, it's kind of hard to beat that. But we held our own. We did just fine. It was okay. On the correct lead, and I think he was really chasing after Phoenix because he was like had a bit more give and go than usual, and it really seemed like he was trying to catch up with Phoenix. Really lofty, nice canter though, except for his headset, of course. His headset. Then he's like, yeah, I passed Phoenix. I don't need to go any faster. So that kind of stunk, but that's all right. We continue cantering, and I think it's kind of funny how my number flaps really counterbent. It seems like every corner he just becomes counterbent. I don't know where our headset went from the first Hunter Under Saddle, but it's completely gone. So, yeah, that I wish I could have gotten it. Needed more leg. and maybe a tighter hold on the reins because, like, I don't know. He just wasn't framing up at all. And as you see, I gave him little leg cues. Very willing transition down to walk, but that's because he's lazy. Then we continue around in the same one, looking at my lead. He's being really sticky and lazy, so it kind of feels like I'm on the wrong one. But I'm not, and I figured that out eventually. But sometimes when you're stressing out, you can't tell, you know? And so I just continue down the line, although this class was just pure fun, quite honestly. We need that headset. I don't blame him for placing me last. I deserved it. Back down to posting trot, and I'm still just kicking him. Like, please go forward. I'm begging you.
From jackpot class, Hunter under saddle. 6th place goes to 621, Sienna McCormick on True Deadly Obsession. 5th place goes to...
So yeah, that was pretty good. Out of 7, we got 6th, so not last place, and that's always the goal. So I was pretty happy with that. Now, this next class was an absolute wreck. You guys remember my last troll class? Cut to the clip. This one was 10 times worse. It was more difficult of a pattern, but literally I got disqualified on the first obstacle. So that should show you guys how, of course, they let me keep going. Honestly, I don't think anyone got through this pattern. The L was literally too small for any horse to get through there. I can't imagine. As you can see, it's like bigger than it wasn't a big enough L, and they eventually fixed that, but it was for the younger group, unfortunately. So we just can't get in the back into the L. I watched 4 of the riders go in front of me, and none of them could get through the L, unfortunately. I mean, if people did get through the L, I did not know about it, because all I heard was that nobody could get through that L, and that I shouldn't be beating myself up over it. But yeah, it's not his fault. It's just that it's very tough obstacle. I thought I had it there. Nope, I don't. It's so sad. I cannot believe that they didn't make me stop doing the L and move on, but they weren't eliminating people because of the fact that nobody had gotten through it yet. So eventually she just tells me just move on. So now we're going over to our polls. Another mistake I made that you guys will see pretty quick. We skip a ton of polls. He's a big horse, and so he can just walk over 2 at a time. Then we ended up stepping over and then leg yielding in the wrong way, and so that was nice. His butt didn't really catch up with him. So, yeah. As you can see, this class is already a train wreck. I actually really enjoyed this part, though, grabbing the mail from the mailbox. That was fun. So he wasn't spooked at all by that. Of course, he shouldn't be. He's a pretty broke horse. So, yeah. I was pretty happy about this one. Of course, I've done all kinds of stuff on him, as you guys have probably seen from my videos. I do some pretty crazy stuff on him, and he's totally cool with it. But the moment, see, pretty good pull. The moment something that's actually scary shows up, he does get spooked by it. So that's kind of sad. Beautiful bridge. As you can see, the rest of this pattern wasn't too bad, but that L was pretty terrible. And then get the canter. Beautiful distance. And then we're supposed to change our lead right here. But we didn't get it, unfortunately. So trying to get him back to canter, won't canter. We're on the wrong lead, but we do a flying lead change over the pole. So, I mean, we ended up on the right lead. Thank you all so much for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe so you guys can see the western portion of this show, which didn't go as well, unfortunately. It was only 3 classes, though, so that's too bad. But as I said, there's some big changes coming to my writing journey. So if you guys want to see those, and also I got a show with JoJo, and a lot of other fun videos that I'm going to be posting this week, hopefully, that I need to catch up on. So there'll be a lot more videos on the channel in the next few days. So I hope you guys are ready for those. If you did like this video, make sure you like and subscribe for more crazy horse content for horse crazy kids.